Greetings, agents, and welcome to the third episode of an ongoing podcast revolving around the Division 2. This is a weekly podcast where we give you, the agents, our opinions and points of view of everything Division 2. Today it will be just me. I'm your host, Face to Foot. Agents, welcome to Washington. Now, I want to get into this beta here. It just ended yesterday, or I guess it ended for me this morning around 3:30, depending on your time zone. I'm going to break it down a little bit. We're going to do PvE, and we'll talk some PvP. Not really going to get too much into the different brand sets or the skills or anything of that nature, simply because we're level 7s. I mean, we got a taste of what the brand sets are and what they have to offer. But I'm not going to go too in depth with any of that. As a matter of fact, I don't even think I'm really going to talk too much about any of that. But PvE feels fine, feels good. Time to kill feels good. I don't think anybody really ever had any concerns that PvE was going to be fun. Did all the missions, the two main missions, the side missions, the different control points. Got all the shade tech that was on the map. So I pretty much cleared out the LZ that was available to us. Fun. It was good. I really enjoyed it. Had a good time with it. There are some enemy archetypes, mainly one, excuse me, that seemed maybe a little bit overpowered when you got, not when you upped the difficulty. Now, I know we're still, it's level 7 and everything, but there's these shock baton rushers, and they come in and they have an adrenaline pill that they take, which appears to give them an overheal, which already makes them a little bit more tankier as it is. And if they're gold, they will rush you. If you don't down them before they get to you, they hit you, put you into a shock, and before that status effect is even over, they hit you again, which continues the shock, then they hit you again and you're dead. So that was a bit irritating at times. I attempted to solo one of the story missions on hard. I was able to get through it, but those shock baton rushers are something else. They're pretty strong. They didn't seem to be any issue when you were in a team. But as far as the archetypes and everything, that seemed to be the most annoying. The grenaders are the same as they were in Division 1. Except this time it just seems like they spam the grenades at you. It's just grenade. You can see them in the sky. I mean, as soon as one drops, here comes another one. But overall, PvE feels good. Time to kill feels good. Obviously, when you up the difficulty, the time to kill gets to be a little bit more spongy. And again, I feel like that has a lot to do with the fact that your gear isn't exactly the way you want it. It's not optimized. You might not have the stats that you're looking for. You might not have the gun that you're looking for. Yada yada. There's a lot of variables when you're kind of looking at it like that. But again, all the missions and everything felt good. The map is huge. Even like when you zoom it out and it shows you the whole thing, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, it's big, but it's not overwhelming until you get into it and you start running around, and then you're actually seeing just the size of this map. It's when the game finally releases, that thing is going to be huge. I mean, the map it's insane. It really is. It looks great. It looks. I like the getting out of the snow. I've been in the snow for 3 years now with Division, and this is nice. It's a nice setting. It's a good change. Very, very needed in my opinion. The change of scenery and everything. The movement and everything feels good. It's slow, methodical, I understand. But overall, I understood what they were going for. The med kits and everything, or armor plates, however you want to say. I understand it all. It feels, in my opinion, I think it feels really good. And I know what they're going for, so I don't have any problems with any of that. So when they released the in-game mission, I selected the demolitionist. I only did it that once, and it was okay. It wasn't hard. It was me and Bayou. We were able to run it together, duo, didn't die, and we went through it in about, I don't know what, 35, 40 minutes, I guess, is what it took us. And that's with gear that we don't know anything about. You know, it's not the way we'd want to build it or anything. So it's just, here's some gear, here's a specialization, and go.
And they toss up too.
The enemies felt okay. The robot dogs or whatever, they were interesting. Had some strong toughness to them. The drones that the Black Tusks would use was a nice addition to it. You know, when we have them in Falcon Lost and everything in Division 1, it was nice to actually see them utilized in the mission.
Yeah, those are tricky,
in this. But it was okay. Nothing. I don't see, I mean, it wasn't hard. You know, the enemies were spongy, but they weren't hard. You know, it was a little time consuming. To be honest with you, it's, you know, without really having the gear that you want or anything. I mean, it was okay. I wasn't super ecstatic about it or anything, but I can see again what they're really wanting to do. But yeah, I mean, as far as PvE, I don't think anybody really ever had any issues. You know, PvE is going to be great. It's going to be fun. You know, PvE in Division 1 was fun. You know, at the beginning, grinding everything out. You know, releasing new legendary missions, things that and another. So that's, I don't think that was ever truly a concern for anybody that was looking forward to trying this beta, or is looking forward to the Division 2 when it comes out in March. So yeah, PvE, there you go. It's fun. You know, go out, grind your gear, have a good time. So here we go for PvP. So with PvP, again, it felt good, I guess. You know, it's gonna take a bit to really get into it and dissect it a little bit more. You know, I put 30, little over 30 hours into the beta when everything was said and done.
We got somebody on the road.
And most of that time was spent in the Dark Zone. I didn't farm in the Dark Zone. We didn't, you know, hit landmarks constantly trying to go through and get gear or anything. What we did is we would see an agent, we would kill him. If he had gear on us or on him, we would take it, and that's how we geared up. We hit all the boxes around the Dark Zone, pick locked them so we could keep our rogue timer going, and that's how we farmed. If there was an agent in a landmark when we came across them, then we would go ahead and finish up that landmark there and go on. But overall, I felt like, you know, PvP it's a different beast. It's not as slow as everybody was worried about. It's got some pace to it. I guess everybody being worried that it was slow, that has a lot to do with just the way the movement of your character is, and, you know, having to really keep an eye on that armor bar that you've got. as soon as that armor's gone, you're dead. There's really not too many ifs, ands, and buts about it. Now, there are those times where you come around the corner and you've got a sliver of health, and you can armor up and get back into the fight. But 9 times out of 10, once you ran out of armor, that was it. And that's fine. Don't have any problem with that. I understand. It's cool. No big deal. The map of the DZ was a lot bigger, like I was saying with the LZ map. Once we got into the DZ and we really got to look at the map and walk through it, you saw the size of it. And when you look at the map itself, it doesn't really give it any justice. The map's quite big for 12 players. And there was only a handful of times where we actually came across another 8 other players. Only a handful of times, and that might be the most frustrating thing, I believe, to me anyways, in the Dark Zone, was looking for people to fight. You would see an agent, you'd kill an agent, and you'd never see him again. Or if you were lucky, they'd come back to you, and you couldn't, or you didn't, locate them. They came back to you, and the way it ended up working for us is we would flag rogue, and you flag white when you flag up now, and it doesn't show you on the map, but we flag up, and since there's no pulse and there was no real way of identifying other agents in your vicinity without seeing their turret or their seeker mines rolling next to them or their drone flying above them. That was the main way we were able to identify other agents in the area. But we would flag up and pretty much run the map looking for other agents to fight. And during the process of running the map, we would hit the terminals, up our rogue timer, hit the Dark Zone boxes again to up the rogue timer. We'd get up to say 430 seconds or whatever it was. Then we would finally see an agent or 2 or 3. Fight, kill him, whatever the case was, and then that 430 seconds would disappear and become a red rogue, and then we would have like 120 seconds or whatever the case was. And then that timer would end up going down to a point, say it got down to like 8 seconds. And then you would see another agent and you would be able to get them, and then you'd get your manhunt or whatever the case was, and then hit your terminals and clear them out, whatever. But it just seemed so few and far in between to locate these other agents, and I'm really hoping that ends up changing. I believe it will once we get the pulse and everything going in there and we can really start identifying what's going on. There were times where we would come across other agents and you wouldn't even know they were rogue until you pointed your crosshairs at them. And that was, it was interesting, but if you're not shooting first, you might die. So you gotta be able to identify them and get them knocked out and get it taken care of. Pop shotting is absolutely back right now, or it was in this beta. I hope they... I don't understand how something... pop shotting was never really the issue. It's what came with pop shotting, with the shotguns. That was the issue. And after everything that we had to deal with on the PS4 with the cheats and exploits and everything, when it came to that, I don't understand how that made it back into even the beta. Now listen, I understand it's a beta and all that stuff, but you also have to understand that this game comes out in a month, and this is pretty much what we're getting. It may be polished up a little bit more. Sure, there's going to be a day one update, and it might be a huge update. But this is pretty much what we're getting. And to see them kind of revert back and lackadaisical, just, not really implement what, I mean, it was an issue in Division 1. And for them just to not can carry that over into this, it, I don't understand a lot of the times what these devs are really thinking when it comes to all this.
I told you I tested the range at one of them.
The
Like 250.
the Seekers are crazy strong. The turrets are crazy strong. And anybody says, well, yeah, you're level 7, you're level 7. Yeah, but you're getting normalized in this particular dark zone. And you've got 25 armor bars above your health. You get hit once with a Seeker and it takes it all away. Takes all the armor. There were times where I had half my armor left and I got hit with a Seeker and it killed me. Just crazy strong. And so you've got your Seekers, you've got your turrets, and then you've got somebody, 2 tapping you, 3 tapping you with the shotgun. And I mean, there's you can already see the issues that's going to have going forward if they don't get that fixed right away. But overall, I really enjoyed PvP. I've seen a lot of people are not enjoying what they played, not enjoying the PvP aspect of it.
You and Angel.
And
I got to test it.
this is only my opinion. I enjoy it. I'm sorry that you maybe you not particularly, but you in general aren't enjoying it. I understand why. I can see the reasons why, but this is just a taste. This is just the beta. Overall, though, like the entire beta experience, I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the game dropping. I'm looking forward to seeing what else they implement and change around in the game and everything. It's gonna be interesting. I've got, I believe, right at 3,000 hours, maybe a little over 3,000 hours in Division 1. I plan on doing the same thing with this one. I'm gonna play this game. It doesn't really affect me. All these other things. Well, I'm not enjoying it. I don't like this. I don't like that. I understand it. There's a lot of things in Division 1, that nobody really liked, but it didn't stop anybody from going through and, playing it. But overall, as a beta, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing what happens next. But even beta aside, just seeing the product where it's at right now. Any glitches or falling through the walls or getting stuck on ladders or all the deltas, all that aside, this game, and I said it in a video not too long ago, that the focus is PvE all the way around. So much so that they turned the Dark Zone into PvE. With the turrets. The turrets are crazy stupid. Crazy. But anybody that really enjoys the PvP of Division 1 and transfers over into Division 2, I don't really think that the turrets are going to be any kind of issue, because you're more than likely going to be in the occupied Dark Zone where there are no turrets. There's friendly fire, all of that. So, that aside, I'm not worried about the normalized Dark Zone because I'm not going to be in it. But yeah, they're crazy strong. But the product as a whole is very PvE orientated. And that's a shame, because the PvPers are literally what kept the Division 1 alive for as long as it's been alive. And to see them just kind of put you in the corner and, you know, not really worry about you, and PvP's kind of an afterthought, and we'll worry about it when you know this other side is taken care of, then we'll come to you, and you know we'll make sure that we give you something. We'll give you a sucker to make you feel like, you know, we're proud of you for sticking with us. Thank you. You know, it's a shame. It really is. But again, let's see what ends up happening with all of it. You know, let's just see. I'm sorry this has kind of been a ramble. You know, I didn't have anybody available to join me tonight. I recorded this on Monday, on a Monday, so I have, you know, certain people weren't able to get with me or anything, so we could get this taken care of. Normally we record on Fridays, and we'll go back to that this coming Friday. We're gonna start looking at all the gear sets, and not so much the gear, but brand sets and the skills and all of that. I really appreciate you taking your time to listen to me ramble on and on about a damn video game. But if you've enjoyed my face to foot style, make sure you hit that like, as it does help the channel. Hit the sub. Make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss any future content that gets dropped. Check out the fellow Dickhead channels for more quality Division content. And until the next time, I hope to see you in the Dark Zone for some friendly fire. I am out.
Agent requesting backup. Serious trauma detected. Incoming backup request. Agent requesting backup. Immediate medical assistance needed.
Search for survivors. They may be hiding.
Incoming backup request.